Welcome everyone to This Is It. I'm Corey Roy, and we are back here to talk about Star Wars Andor episodes 1 through 3. Wow, this is so exciting because we're just coming off the heels of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and what other better way to keep this train running than with this spy espionage series that I must say so. I'm so used to lightsabers. I must say so, man. I'm really enjoying this spy espionage type series, but that's my take on it. What is yours, Phenom?
I'm 202 DDA representative. Yo, already Andor is better than Mandalorian and Boba Fett put together. Everything about this show is what I love.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, Corey, they actually have killing in this. I'm not talking about stormtroopers getting killed.
Yeah.
Like real people getting shot.
Mm-hmm.
You never see that in Star Wars. Ever.
I must say so, man. I mean, I second everything you're saying. This show is not for kids. Like, kids are not going to like this show. This show is for like 20 plus. I mean, for real, it's serious. I mean, everything about this show they set the stage of this show right out the gate very early on. I mean, look, but before we get into it, look, everyone, this is a spoiler review. We're going to talk about episodes 1 through 3. If you haven't seen it or you've seen a little bit of it, and you don't want to be spoiled, pause this video, come back and check us out. Before you do that, hit the button, like, share, subscribe. And other than that, man, now we're going to go ahead and get into it. So here we go. So they like I said, they set the tone of this really early because one of the main things that they do is Cassian Andor is going to this particular place. Well, anyway, before I even say any of that, this happens 5 years before the Battle of Yavin. So me and my man Phenom were talking about that earlier. So the Battle of Yavin is pretty much A New Hope, where Luke blows up the Death Star. So this happens 5 years before then. So this is Cassian Andor at this particular part in this Star Wars universe. And he is going to this particular spot, looks like a strip club on Star Wars, and trying to find out information about his sister. Because it looked like they propositioning folks up in this piece, yo.
Yeah, it was a brothel.
Yeah.
It was a brothel.
Star Wars brothel. But anyway, as he's trying to find information more about his sister, he's got some guys in there, trying to punk him and whatnot. Cassian Andor's not feeling it, but when he doesn't get the information he wants, he dips. But then these guys try to shake him down at the end, and it goes south. This intro was so good because he shot the guy in the face. He shot him in the head and killed him. He killed 2 people right out the gate. Yeah. This set the tone of the show right away, man. Phenom, what were your whole thoughts about this?
Yo, like I said before, we never see this in Star Wars. Ever. We've been watching Star Wars since 77. Yeah, we was born, man. We've been watching it all through our lives. I had Star Wars sheets growing up. Only people that ever got shot were stormtroopers.
True.
You know what I mean? And so it wasn't that kind of visual that made you like that's a real person. It was a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
I never knew anything about the Canarian people. So that's where he went south because he was in a brothel. She was trying to proposition him, but said, "Hey, you have a Canary girl in here." Nobody ever talked. We find out that nobody ever knows anything about a Canary. Well, they know about the Canary people, but it's not the way in a good way. You know what I mean? And it's like any kind of situation where cops abusing their powers, talking shit, and then they mess with the wrong person. And, he's a smart guy. He's like, yo, I got 300 credits in my pocket. Dude try to reach in the pocket. Headbutts him, throws him out the way. He hits his head. Dude is like, oh, my gosh, you killed him. He's like, hold up. You didn't kill him. It was an accident. I'm not going to say anything. Just let me go. And obviously, he couldn't let him go.
Yeah. I really like that part because for a second, because it's Star Wars, I was actually thinking, okay, he probably would let him go. But when you really think about it, if you're in a situation like that in real life, would you really let them go? Because you know what they're going to do. They're just trying to save their high only to tell you what they saw because they know everything about you. So they were going to come after him. And honestly, he wasn't supposed to be there because he was doing so much to hide where he was once he finally came back to his planet, like changing the comlink codes and doing this and doing that. And everybody kept asking him like, dude, what did you do? What are you doing? What's going on? And he wouldn't really tell anybody. But the thing is, the reason why he wouldn't tell anybody, because he really wanted to protect them. Because the less you know, the better off you are. But they really didn't understand that. But he makes up to his girl Bix. Bix is doing her thing, and Bix, as always, is working it out. And it says here that Bix agrees to contact the buyer, but her attempts to hide the connection from Cassian's boyfriend, which we all know, I'm trying to remember his name now. What's
Tim?
this guy's name? Tim. Tim is such a sucker, man. Tim is such a sucker. Oh God, this guy.
All right, first of all, Corey, you in Star Wars, you can't have no basic ass name like Tim, yo. You already a sucker off the bat. Your name is they don't even respect you enough to give you like a real like Star Wars name. Your name Tim.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like, it's just a plain old name. They didn't even, you know what? And you don't realize why they called him Tim until the end of episode 3, because he was going to get wrote off anyway. They killed him midway through episode 3.
I mean, like, to me, like, Tim was like one of the worst characters ever written.
Yeah.
Necessary, but a lot of stuff happened everything happened because of Tim. But, he was already kind of jealous of the relationship between Bix and Andor, and Cassian. He didn't know if they were romantically involved at any point.
Yeah.
They were just really close. They seem like brother and sister, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, they were really, really that close. So her guarding his secrets, because she knew he was Canarian.
Yeah.
Nobody else did. But he was so jealous of that, he started throwing salt in the game, He was dirty macking, and he had no reason to dirty mack because he didn't want her. Yeah.
Well, you know what I also think is that he didn't want her anymore. I kind of feel that her and that Cassian and Bix had something going on
like
some time ago. Yeah, some time ago, but not anymore. But I think that's why the other guy kept feeling that, because he's like, something's going on there. But I think that was just years ago, and he just couldn't let it go, man. Every time they were meeting up, every time she would always say, I got to make an errand, I got to make a run. He just couldn't keep his position. So actually, unfortunately, he is the one that winds up giving all the information to the cops. So let's get into the cops. We got one particular guy that finds out that, these 2 guys have gotten killed, and he has this serious motivation to find out what's going on. Yeah, Karn, he goes after him like crazy, even though the guy told him no. And actually, I got to give it up for this guy, because he called it like spot on. He's like, I guarantee it, these dudes harassed them and they got involved with the wrong guy they shouldn't have had. Let's just forget about it, because he said that these were bum cops anyway.
Yeah, and they weren't supposed to be in a brothel. They was in the wrong part of town. So they're up to no good.
Yeah.
And he called me, you're right, he was spot on with his assessment of the situation. He like, just chalk it up. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna give him a good right saying, hey, they was protecting somebody to protect their legacy and protect his ass from getting, because he had to go report crime numbers.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So what other worse way to talk to somebody and say, the crime is going down, but wait a minute, 2 of my cops just got killed at a brothel spot just down the street. You don't want to say that. So
it's funny though, because like he told Karn, he's like, leave it alone. I expect you to write up and just leave it alone. But Karn did not listen. And the thing about it is, it's like, to me, this part seems like real world type shit. It's like cops protecting cops, doing all this stuff instead of like singling out the bad apples. He's trying to protect the bad apples by giving them a good write up. But the other one wants retribution. Like, no, you can't do this to my brothers.
Yeah.
Good or bad, we got to go after these people.
Damn, man, that's a good point. I didn't even think about it like that, but it is very reflective of currently how things are in our society right now. Damn, man, that's good. And it's Star Wars. That was a good one. Yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah,
and what better way? I mean, they coming out with these blue suits on, man. And oh God, it was funny because they knew they were going to run into some issues when they got down to that planet, because like the locals aren't going to like us, because clearly they've come there before and done things that the locals have not liked. So the locals have their way of letting everybody know, like, look, the folks are in town. Let's make sure everybody's aware of what happened. So it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like, but you gotta look at Karn too. Karn, he seems like the guy that got bullied all his life, became a cop.
Oh my God.
And now he's trying to flex his muscle because he got the badge. Because he was going into like the command room talking about, I need y'all to work this. I need y'all to find these people, even though he's not supposed to be doing anything because he's not following orders. Your boy Moss put the battery in his back. He's like, yo, we need to find these people. We're the police. We have the power. we can't let these people do this. It's gonna boost morale and all that stuff. He put the batteries back. Dude was like, yeah. Like Ryan, like he felt like he needed to do this. Like all he needed was that battery.
Yeah,
and he got it.
Yeah, he got it, man. And you know, the sad thing about it, well, I don't want to say the sad thing about it, but it's crazy because this is when the story really pushes forward, even though there is some parts of the story too, because I really liked, and we'll get into this whole Karn situation, because when they finally get to episode 3, I mean, it's really serious by then. But I also like the fact that we're also getting that secondary story of seeing Cassian Andor prior to this as a child, which is really interesting because it's almost like they're saying the parallels of the story with him as a child going on this adventure with I'm trying to remember her name, going on this adventure with Marva. Yeah, and now going on this adventure with whatever this guy's name is. Rael, you know, so they're making parallels to that story about how he's going on this adventure and how he has a motivation to do this because something happened to him, you know, and so I really did like that.
Well, you said something about the flashbacks. Did you get kind of like because we talked about it, go check out our review on Predator. Did you get a kind of a Predator vibe when indigenous? Like I didn't know he grew up as an indigenous person.
You know what I mean? I did. I was really shocked to know that they were on a planet living that lifestyle. You know, they very. I don't want to, and just very primitive, you know, no guns, no weapons, very primitive lifestyle. And them just kind of seeing all of this new world that they had no idea was around them. So that was very interesting to see. And I had no idea, but it really goes to show that there's so much more out in Star Wars than we realize. But I love that background of Andor because now when I look at Rogue One, I have a much more understanding why he is the way he is. And I think we're even going to get more of that as this series continues. I mean, because this dude has got a really serious reason why he joined the Imperials, but really wants to go against them. And we'll start to find out why, man. I mean, it's crazy. But what's this whole thing about? All right, so let's get to the whole meat and potatoes of this, man. We got Karn going after him. Bix finally finds out that Tim did the whole shebang.
Oh, super sucker Tim, yo. I mean, but the thing about it is, so the reason why Andor is meeting with Rael, the buyer, he has this Imperial technology that's going to be used for tracking this, and it's sought after. It will be it'll do so good on the black market. He will fetch a pretty penny by doing it. So Bix is setting up the buyer because he needs money to get away because he killed the cops.
Right.
Tim is snooping around. My man Nas says, "Stop looking for stuff before you find out and get to crying."
Yeah.
Yo, Tim was like, you know, she like, "Yo, we going on a date tomorrow, not tonight. I got something to do." So he ends up following her. Sees her and Cassian in the bar. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah,
I'm snitching. He went right to the cops, and that set off the whole series of events. And then, you know, something happens to Tim, and that's what your ass get for being nosy.
I wasn't even mad.
I wasn't even mad either. I was like, your ass deserve it. You should have mind your damn business, and you didn't mind your business.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What did you think about this action scene, though? This episode 3 action scene, like that build up when Rael finally gets there, and it's like it's against time, trying to hurry up and find Andor. Because I think even though Bix had set up for the buyer to come in, and we find out it's Raul, and it's all about this Imperial box, I don't think he was really concerned about the box. I think he was always trying to find Andor, and he probably was wondering, is this the guy that I'm looking for that's going to sell this box? And once he finally got there, I think he was like, Andor, is this really you? Because he said he knew so much about him. I don't think he was really trying to get the box. That's why he never cared if Andor picked it up or not. What were your thoughts on that?
I definitely agree with that. He kind of made mention of it because he called him by his first and last name. You know, when stuff popped off, he was like, yo, what about the box? I'm not worried about the box. But he was like, even before the stuff started popping off, he asked, how did you get the box?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll give you another 1,000 if you tell me how you got it. He's like, they're so arrogant. I just dressed up like a worker or one of them. They would just, they didn't pay me any attention. he realized his skill set. He realized he'd be an asset to the rebel cause.
Yeah, yeah.
And I appreciated that. What I didn't appreciate, they was talking too damn much. People after you can't be talking like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like let's go talk by the ship, yo. Let's go do that.
Because they were bringing the whatever the dishes or the pots and pans, so they heard that before they even got there. So they were fully aware that the people had arrived, and especially Rael, he knew they were coming already.
Yeah. I thought, I mean, I like the action part. I like how Rael was like, yo, whenever you go into a place, you got to make sure you have an exit. That was a fine line.
That was dope.
mean, and the thing about it is, like, he's thinking like outside, like he's been there before. I think he's winning over Cassian because Cassian understands it's a bigger cause than I even know about.
Yeah.
He has to harken back to, like you already said, when he was younger, he started seeing the world. He has to see that through a different lens now, like a better purpose in life versus just being a thief.
Just stealing from them. You can get involved with a group that has a vision, a goal to take down these groups that you hate and despise so much, So I really enjoy that. And I am really loving this spy and espionage type feel. I mean, I am really feeling that. I mean, I really enjoyed this from beginning to end because you could see the conniving that's going on. You can see everybody is, especially with this guy. Let's get to this cop, Karn.
Yeah.
This guy here, clearly he's going to be somebody we're going to see for quite a bit through this series. I think that even though right now he's a timid type person, me personally, I think he's going to turn. He's going to be sickening. He's going to be somebody that's going to start chopping people's necks off and killing them like crazy. That's at least my take on it.
I definitely agree. And the catalyst was, because you can see it on his face. So during the battle, and they were shooting up the aircraft, they thought they had him. His face was like, yo, I got these people. I'm going to be a hero. It was a trap. More men died. And he understood, like, oh shit, I messed up.
Yeah.
He was in shock. Boss was like, yo, we gotta go. He was just so stunned, like, what have I done? So now you know what people do now. When you mess up like that, you gotta cover your tracks, you gotta go after the people that did it, you gotta make up some stuff. But he just put himself in the corner because he was told to mind your business. You didn't mind your business. Tim ain't mind his business. Your ass ain't mind your business. You done cause some problems, yo.
That's really true, man, because not only did he not mind his business, he got a lot of people killed by going on this mission. I mean, he got a lot of people killed, especially when he told everybody, oh, that's them, go get them. And it was just a decoy car that was going to explode anyway. So all them people got exploded, So we're going to see what happens now, man. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I cared nothing about Tim dying. I really do hope I see Bix a lot more. She's such a great character, at least in what I saw in these 3 episodes. I don't want that to be the last that we see her, but I'm not sure. But I really do hope we do see her more, and hopefully we'll find out like what is, Cassian Andor is like really trying to find his sister. I seriously doubt he'll find her because if I'm not mistaken, was that his sister that got shot when they were on the planet, or was that a friend?
No, it was. I think it was a leader.
Oh my God, that's right. That's right. His sister was the young girl that was left at the village. That's right. So that's why he's trying to find her. Right.
But all right, so kind of delve into that world. Marva was like reason why he ended up with Marva was they killed an imperial soldiers. So obviously they track the ship. They come there. They wipe out the whole community. So I'm thinking because of Star Wars, the daughter, his sister survived because he's looking for her, so he thinks she survived. It wouldn't surprise me if she showed up somewhere. That's how Star Wars is. But her, Marva kidnapping Cassian to save his life because they knew the Imperial ship was coming. I mean, that was a dope thing.
That was shocking because I never ever knew that the reason why Cassian was there essentially because he was kidnapped. I mean, he was literally kidnapped from his folks because he was upset and he went in there just trying to smash stuff, not knowing that these other people are coming in there. And he just runs into Marva and her husband, I think at the time.
Yeah, it was her husband at the time.
And they're in the situation like, look, we got to go. And she doesn't want to leave him there because she knows that the Imperials are going to come back and slaughter everybody around. And she doesn't want to leave him there. So essentially she kidnaps him. So at that point in his life, he has never seen his daughter. He's never had a chance to go back to his family. So that was very eye-opening, that even though he has a lot of respect for Marva and he loves her, deep down inside, I wanted, there's some tension there that he has because she kind of kidnapped him from his family. So I don't know, it'd be a very interesting story, but to know that that's how he ends up in the situation is very telling. But I love it. They're telling a story about somebody that gets involved with the rebels. That's not what you would typically think somebody gets involved with the rebel cause, but I'm really loving it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a dope show. I cannot, I'll be remiss if I didn't mention this again. We waited 40 years to see real violence in Star Wars, yo. You know what I mean? I think it's just, I mean, I think this is the time it has to go this way. I mean, we've seen people get hit with lightsabers. I mean, like Darth Maul got split in half, you know, with a lightsaber. We've seen Obi-Wan get struck down by Darth Vader. So we've seen people get hit with the lightsaber, but it's not like this.
Yeah.
Like a kill shot.
Yeah, this was definitely an adult tone, because even when Han Solo shot, God, I can't remember his name. God, it skips my mind. But even when Han Solo shot the bounty hunter, it wasn't a headshot. It wasn't a kill shot. He shot him under the table. So you never really see those type of killings in Star Wars. So to have this, it's a very adult show, because they lay a couple cuss words out there. Like one of the guys even said shit. And I was like, holy crap. They actually said that in Star Wars.
In Star Wars, we never heard that before.
You never hear stuff like that. And also they have kind of like a sex scene in Star Wars. Like they imply
I noticed that too.
You know,
hold on, can we talk about that? You just brought it up, yo.
When Bix comes over to see Tim,
how you gonna be stalking somebody? You mad at her, but you ain't gonna turn down the cheek show. You know what I mean? Like you think she out there like smashing Cassian or whatever. Yeah. She come home and I don't know if she kind of knew she was wrong. I thought she kind of peeped that I thought she found out that he was tracking her.
I think she found out too. Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I guess you can't turn down the cheek show. She comes to your door like, is it too late? Nah, it ain't too late. Yeah. Then you should kiss her, and then she take off her clothes and sit on the bed.
Sit on the bed. I was like,
all right, mad or not, yo. All right, I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This was some real world adult stuff right here. I mean, anybody watching that would be like, yo, I mean, she literally had her clothes off except her top, laying on the bed like they was getting it on. And she wakes up the next morning in the bed. You know, of course, they tried to change it up a little bit, and he was staring at her to the side. It's like, I couldn't sleep all night, but you know, we already know what happened. But I think this was all a setup. I think she was personally just kind of playing him, because I think she was realizing that he was stalking her. So she wanted to find a way to cut that off, and like, okay, he's clearly figuring out something, and the only way to stop this is to get him to stop. I just got to sleep with him tonight so he can stay put at the house, because that's the only way it's going to work right now. So yeah, he's smart, man. That's why I was like, I want to see more Bix. I got to see more Bix do this, show for real.
So let me ask you this, Joe. So before we wrap it up, you being the resident Star Wars lover, you know, I love Star Wars, but you love Star Wars. You know what I mean? You know more about Star Wars more than me, but like I could have a conversation with a lot of people, but already. And we've talked about Mandalorian. Yeah. Shout out to Hollywood. Ollie was like, I hate that shit.
I know.
I can't get through it.
Yo, Ollie's a sucker.
So
that shit was trash. That shit was trash.
So all right, so Ollie chimed in a little bit. Ollie, what do you think about so far? What's your overall arching thought about Andor so far?
Yeah.
Andor, honestly, let me turn down my shit. My bad. Andor's actually been off the chain, yo. I mean, these first 3 episodes, as far as.
Are you with?
Oh, you muted or something? Your volume went out.
Yeah. Well, while Ollie's working to get that volume back on, that's why I shouldn't have said nothing because he's a sucker.
So, Corey, let me go to you.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think in comparison to Boba Fett and Mandalorian?
That shit was trash.
I want to hear Corey's honest opinion because you said, "Come on, man, y'all gotta like Mandalorian. It's so good." So this is the caliber show I like. What are your thoughts?
This is a great show. I'm not going to lie. So we've had Mandalorian, we've had Book of Boba Fett, we had Obi-Wan, and
Obi-Wan was good.
Yeah, I really like Obi-Wan just because that's to me what started my world with Star Wars. Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, Luke. I got to give it to them. Obi-Wan to me is the greatest. I love Mandalorian, but this is really good. And the reason why I think this is so good is because it's taking me in a whole nother direction that I've never seen in Star Wars before. Sort of like how Mandalorian did, but this is like get me the boots on the ground battle of Star Wars. And I am feeling it. I'm really loving it. And I didn't think I was going to like it because when I watched Rogue One, Andor was my least favorite character in Rogue One, but I'm loving him more and more. I love Rogue One as a movie, but as far as like pulling out characters out of Rogue One, I didn't really gravitate to any character. So when they wanted to do the Andor series, I was always saying to myself, man, I don't know.
They pick him?
Yeah, why they pick him? But I'm loving it. And I think the reason why is because they're trying to do something with Star Wars that a lot of people don't know. And who doesn't love a spy espionage film? And to put it into a Star Wars, it's gold, man.
It's golden. You're right.
Yeah, I'm loving it. And I really love the fact that they gave us 3 episodes. I think that was smart and brilliant putting those 3 episodes because it laid the groundwork and the foundation for what we have to come. If they gave it to us in a 1, 2, 3 each week, I wouldn't have felt it as much. But giving it all 3 of us at one time, that was smart.
Yeah, it's like a mini movie, like an hour-and-a-half movie, a setup movie, so we know what we have going forward.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm excited, man. I'm really excited about this show. Every Wednesday, I'm be tuned in watching it.
Yeah. So far, where you're rating that on 8 out of 10? I mean, out of 10.
I give it like out the box 9. Like I said, it already had a character that died I didn't like. It had violence in it. It had everything, and it wasn't boring.
Yeah,
like even all the setup, or even like Cassian's friend, he said that lied for him.
Yeah,
his friend was like, "Yeah, I'll lie for you," but he changed the story to make it seem like like his version of the story, which I thought was really cool.
That was dope. That was dope.
It's just everything, like even like with Marva. Marva was like, "Yo, who you tell, yo? I didn't tell anybody. I told you. I trained you. All this stuff. You ain't supposed to say who you tell." She got it out of him.
Yeah.
You know I
forgot about that. Yeah. That's some good stuff, man. Really good stuff.
So good.
Right now, it's a 9 for me. And it's crazy because I gave Obi-Wan pretty much a 9, but it's in a different way. But it's such a good film. I didn't think I was going to really like it that much, but I'm all in. And I really can't wait to see what they do episode 4 now. Now that we really got the story going, I'm ready for it, man. But other than that, that's it, man. That's our wrap up of Star Wars Cassian Andor episodes 1 through 3. So far, we are both ready and firing on all cylinders. It's me, Corey Roy, my man Phenom 202, Ollie. I don't know where that guy at because he's a sucker.
Yo, that's trash. Just like Boba Fett.
Now, Boba Fett was bad.
Like Mandalorian turned second season, but I ain't no saying nothing. I'm in the background. I'm always here. I'm always here.
He like Michael Myers on Halloween, yo. He's always in the background, yo. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, man. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel so you can get more reviews and reactions from us. Other than that, like I said, my name is Corey Roy. That's my man Phenom 202, and we'll be back here next week with a recap and review of Andor episode 4. Peace.
You can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you'll get with this, because this is where it's at. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that.